Welcome to the deep dive. Ever find yourself feeling completely different about something than you thought you would?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what we're digging into today. It's called affective forecasting, basically, trying to predict our future feelings.
And spoiler alert, we're often not great at it.
Exactly. So in this deep dive, we're exploring why. Why are these predictions so often wrong, even though, we base so many decisions on them?
We'll be looking at what it actually is, why it's so inaccurate, the biases involved,
Yeah, how we misjudge the emotional fallout of events, the role memory and imagination play.
and how it messes with our choices, big life changes, maybe even regret.
So let's get into it. It's a really fascinating part of how our minds work.
It really is. And it starts with realizing just how often we do this. Like even deciding what movie to watch tonight involves predicting future enjoyment.
True. So if we're doing it constantly, why the disconnect? Why the surprise when our feelings don't match the forecast?
Well, one big reason the sources point to is something called impact bias.
Impact bias. Okay, break that down.
It's essentially our tendency to overestimate the emotional intensity of future events, both the good stuff and the bad stuff.
So we think winning the lottery will feel amazing for years, or breakup will crush us indefinitely.
Pretty much, we overestimate the initial punch of the emotion. Like, you imagine failing a test will feel devastating for weeks, but, well, usually other things grab your attention pretty quickly. Life goes on.
Right, okay. We amplify the feeling itself. And that links to another concept, doesn't it? Durability bias.
Exactly. They're related. Durability bias is about overestimating how long the feeling will last.
Ah, so not just the intensity, but the duration, too.
Yeah. We think the joy of that new car will last and last, or the sting of criticism will linger forever. But humans are actually pretty resilient. We have this sort of emotional immune system.
We adapt, return to our baseline faster than we think.
We really do. It's like we forget that context matters, and life has all these other moving parts.
Which brings up another point. We often misjudge the broader consequences, right? We focus too narrowly.
That's a huge factor. It's called focalism sometimes. You focus only on the event you're forecasting, say, getting a promotion.
Right, picturing this success, the new title.
But you forget about, the longer commute, the extra meetings, the difficult colleague you now have to manage. All that other stuff influences how you actually feel day to day, but it gets lost in the initial forecast.
Tunnel vision. Makes sense. And what about memory and imagination? How do they lead us astray here?
Well, our memories aren't perfect video recordings, are they? We tend to remember the peaks, the most intense moments of an emotion, not necessarily the average feeling.
So, remembering a past vacation, maybe you focus on the one perfect sunset, not the delayed flight or the mediocre hotel breakfast.
Precisely. And imagination does something similar when looking forward. We often simplify or idealize. We imagine the concept of moving to a sunny place, not the reality of finding new friends or dealing with unfamiliar bureaucracy.
Okay, so these flawed memories and simplified fantasies become the basis for our predictions.
And that directly impacts our decision-making.
How so? Give us an example.
Well, if you overestimate how awful you'll feel if you ask someone out and get rejected.
You might never ask. You avoid the perceived emotional risk.
Exactly. You miss out on a potential positive outcome because the forecasted negative felt too intense or too long-lasting. Or, conversely, you might chase a high-paying job thinking the happiness boost will be huge and permanent.
Only to find the extra stress cancels it out, and the happiness fades faster than expected.
Right. This plays out constantly, but especially with big life events, moving, marriage, career changes. These are times when our expectations can be really amplified.
And when those expectations don't quite match reality, that's where disappointment or even regret can creep in.
Absolutely. If you chose path A because you thought path B would lead to unbearable sadness, and then path B turns out fine for someone else, you might feel regret. Or if you pursued path A for its predicted joy and it just feels meh.
That feeling of, I thought this would feel different.
That's affective forecasting error in action.
So acknowledging we're not great emotional fortune tellers is the first step. Can we actually improve?
The research suggests yes, thankfully. Simply being aware of impact bias and durability bias helps. It encourages you to question those initial strong gut feelings about future emotion.
Like pausing to ask, okay, will this really make me as happy or sad for as long as I think?
Exactly. And trying to recall past experiences more accurately helps too. Not just the emotional peaks, but the whole picture. How did you actually feel a week after that similar event last time?
Maybe even think about how others reacted in similar situations. get an outside perspective.
That can definitely calibrate your expectations.
Okay, so wrapping this up, the main takeaway seems to be that our built-in emotional GPS is often a bit faulty. We overestimate the intensity and duration of future feelings because of predictable biases.
Understanding this isn't about becoming emotionless robots, but about making more informed choices and managing our expectations, more realistically.
Which leads to a final thought for you, the listener. Consider the last time an event, big or small, felt quite different emotionally than you anticipated.
What might that tell you about your own forecasting tendencies? Were you overestimating the impact, the duration? Just reflecting on that might make your next prediction a little bit sharper.